Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, Chuma Chukma, how are you? So, I have been asked to do this video for a very long time. And the other day, I just decided, you know what, let me just do a poll on my community tab just to see, if y'all really want this type of content. And the majority of y'all said, hell yeah. So, here we are, babes. So, where do I start when it comes to my genealogy journey? Because I know I talk a lot of ish, but I can back it up, okay? And not only that, but I talk my ish because I have been through a lot in my life, right? Who hasn't? But not only that, when it comes to my own unique story, my family history, our genealogy, I take that very, 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 very seriously. And with my genealogy journey, it really showed me that when it comes to the culture of my people, I need to take that seriously. Okay. So, first and foremost, that is what I got out of doing my genealogy and going along the pangs and the waiting game, all those things, right? So, where do I start off at? Okay, I guess I should say as a child, I was always outspoken. I always spoke my piece. I didn't care if you didn't like it. I was going to tell you off. And that was just that. I didn't care. I really did not care. I did not care, y'all. And to a degree, I still don't care. But now it's more so of my response to it. I have to be like, okay, why am I letting this person get under my skin so deep? And then I redirect. But back then, oh no, I had to tell any and everybody that inconvenienced me in the slightest way. I had to tell them. I had to tell them off. And especially when it came to race relations, oh yeah, I was big on that as a teenager. But as a child, um, it still played a huge role because I saw my elders also go through a lot of racism. So it really did change my perception. But I was still in a very integrated town. So it's not like I can't, you know, just say, hey, I gonna separate my group. I'm gonna separate myself from this group of people or whatever. I can't do that really because my town is so integrated. So I just had to really deal with all that. But when I got in high school and the whole Mike Brown situation happened, oh yeah, that sparked the whole pro black persona in me. There was no going back. Okay, there was no going back. It was either you're pro black or you a house nigga to me. I did not care. And looking back, you know, I'm just like, wow, I was so extreme with it. Now I don't care for the pro black stuff. I really don't even care for the whole pan Indian movement people trying to push out there. Because I swear, every 2 to 3 years, it's a new movement in the quote unquote black community. So I just observe and watch at this point. But back then, I didn't know nothing. I was naive. I was new to the game. I thought everything could just be fixed if we just all work together and not say anything that is too controversial to each other and just love and support one another. But that's not growth. And I know this is swaying away from the topic, but that's why I also stay away from the whole unity and we need to be uplifting each other speech because although it sounds like it has good intentions, but why is it people only scream unity when people are talking about the degeneracy and the messed up ways people act towards one another. I just don't get it. I don't get how someone is claiming someone is doing division just because they are speaking their piece about the abuse that they endured or whatever. I don't know. It's just abuser logic to me. Like I don't like people that only want to claim unity when it's only convenient for them. If you're about unity, you're about unity for all and not just because someone is bashing a certain gender or whatever. Because honestly, when it even comes to this whole gender war thing, I get both sides. I really do, because the single mom thing is a huge issue, but both really does play a part. And I'm not a single mom, so people can sit here and talk about single moms all they want, but that really has nothing to do with me. But I see both points. But anyway, I digress. Anywho, when it comes to my genealogy, I knew nothing about it. My elders were always telling me, "Oh yeah, we are indigenous." Well, in their terms, my maternal grandmother told me that her mother was a full-blooded Cherokee, and my paternal grandmother told me that she come from Ishuk Nation. So, yeah, and it's funny because when I was in my pro-black phase, my paternal grandmother, she was telling me about who she is and the lineages we descend from, and I remember she was telling me about being Indian, and I just I would not believe her. Like, for the sake of me, I would not believe her because I was super indoctrinated. I believed everything that people had to say positive about African people, whether it was true or not. And don't get me wrong, I would love to hear positive things about you melanated people from all over the world. But if it's not true, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear untruthful stuff. So if it wasn't African centered, I considered the person to be a quote unquote coon, okay? And my grandma, she would just talk about being French and Indian, and I was just not feeling her. And what's so crazy is that she actually spelled and said the correct name for our tribe, because a lot of people know Ishuk as um Atatakapa. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it 100% correctly, but I don't pronounce our name in that way. I pronounce our original name Ishuk, and that is what my grandmother told me. And I remember I was on the phone with her and she was telling me that, and I was just like, "Grandma, you are not Native American, like whatever." And I said, "Spell the name of it," because I was like, "There's no Native American tribe that start with the letter E." And so she start and so she started spelling it out, and she was spelling it out correctly. But when she said I said, she wrong in my head, but actually that's how you spell it. Ishak. She spelled it right, but I was like, nah, she lying, she lying. And it wasn't until after her passing I realized, oh snap, she's telling the truth, because I did the research myself. Now, um, when I came, okay, so I guess now I should go into how did I came into my genealogy. So for a hot minute, I was into the whole pro-black thing, the Pan-Africanist thing. I used to wear hair wraps and dashikis. Yes, that was that girl, y'all. And I remember one day I just came across this meme, and it was talking about the good ship Jesus and how it never landed in the United States. And I was like, what? Because at that time I was seeing a whole bunch of pro black memes, and they would say, oh, black people ain't knew nothing about Jesus until we saw the ship and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if y'all see that meme that I just described, but I would see memes like that. So when I saw that meme of it saying the good ship Jesus didn't even come to the United States, I was like, okay, well, what else I don't know? So I went to the username on the meme. I went to their Instagram, and lo and behold, like, this person was really doing their research, and I, of course, fact checked it and truth checked it and make sure that it was, accurate. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, how come they're not teaching us this in school? Why are we being taught lies? I don't understand this. And it really pushed me to do my genealogy. Now, granted, I did reach out to the guy and contact him and ask him, how do I get started with my genealogy? And he did try to help, but he was like, girl, I can't find nothing on you. And I was like, what? And so I started to feel, I don't know. I feel like I started to lose hope, you guys. Like, I just kept like looking and looking, and I couldn't find anything. And then that's when I started to become acquainted with Tasha She. And if you don't know who Tasha She is, if you don't know who Tasha She is, like, really, how you in this space and you don't know who Tasha She is? Like, oh my God. Like, she is a well-known genealogist in the world of American Negro Indians. A lot of us know her. We know about her. We know her work. And even with her help, we just couldn't find anything on my family. And for the longest, I just felt like I was never going to find anything about my family until I did. One day I logged into my ancestry.com account because, they always have that 14 free day trial, or at least by my knowledge. Um, um, so I just started like getting all these hints on my family, and it was very, very, very satisfying just to find all the information. And of course, doing your genealogy, I did go to like other family members asking questions, and of course, the more questions I asked, the farther I was able to get into my genealogy research. I have went back all the way to the 1700s, 1600s. So I'm pretty good. I feel good about my research. I feel pretty satisfied about it. I have not researched my genealogy further recently. I do plan on doing more research soon, but with genealogy, it just takes time, and certain documents are not released until after a certain period of time. So I have to wait, According to federal law, the U.S. Census keeps the record sealed for 72 years after the census date. So they do this for privacy reasons, and so people don't go around stealing other people information, of course. So if you don't find anything right now in your ancestry tree research, just wait a little bit, because remember, the 1950 census just came out this year. And a lot of y'all guys said y'all couldn't find anything of your ancestors until you looked at the 1950 census record. So many people like to scream and say, oh, well, my ancestors just slaves because I can't get past this time. And it's like, babe, give it time. Just because you can't find information right now does not mean that your ancestor was a slave. Don't give up all hope and just be like, oh, they was just slaves and I just would never know, because not everybody, family members or ancestors or whatever, were slaves. So really take that into account, because I'm so tired of people not doing their genealogy and just saying, oh, well, my ancestors are slaves. Okay, how would you know that? Oh, because they're black. Well, just because they're dark skinned does not mean that they were slaves. How do you know that they're not the enslaver? Like, how do you know that they were a conquistador? How they weren't a American Indian prisoner of war? Like, you have to like really think at it at different perspectives. And so, when it came to my genealogy, I just had to accept different parts of myself, and still to this day, that's what I gained from my genealogy journey. People always ask me what are my tribes, and of course it's Choctaw, Cherokee, Ishuk. I also have Mexican ancestry, and although this is unconfirmed, but Oneida, seeing that come up in my ancestry tree as well. So those are the different nations I come from. So yeah, I'm proud of them. Some people could sit here and say that, oh, well, you're just ashamed to say that you're African, you don't want me to claim you're black and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, I done my genealogy and it is what it is. And like I said before, I had to come to terms that I have French ancestry. So if I could come to terms that I have French ancestry, if I did have African ancestry, I would have accepted, but I don't. So don't force identities on me. Okay, thank y'all guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the all notifications bell button to get notified when I go live and when I upload a new video. Love y'all guys. Bye.